तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and today, yesterday we had started that, but today let us take up Conversations of Sunday, June 17, 1883. Sri Ramakrishna was resting in his room in the temple garden at Dakshineshwar. It was afternoon. Adhar and M arrived, must be together, and saluted the master. A tantric devotee also came in. That is the new thing here. Directly named as tantric sadhu. We do not know his name, but he is tantric. Rakhal, Hazra, and Ramlal were staying with Sri Ramakrishna. Ramlal was, of course, the priest, but staying with Sri Ramakrishna because he always used to be there, his nephew. Master, to the devotees. So the tantric has not yet asked anything, but he is there. So this will serve as a background of something. Understood? It is to the devotees in general. Why shouldn't one be able to attain spirituality living the life of a householder? That means one should not take it as an impossibility and give up the attempt. That is the point here. Because we have become householders, so no spirituality for us, that should not be the idea or attitude. But there is a lot of but, but it is extremely difficult. So if you are an householder and if you want spirituality, you should be ready to struggle quite a bit. One should not say, oh, I am a householder, so I cannot do anything. And one should not think that though I am a householder, it is easy, I can have spirituality. These two sides have to be avoided. So if you are a householder, you can have spirituality if provided you struggle hard. It is difficult. Sages like Janaka. Now, Janaka is the brilliant or only example of the old-time householders who had spirituality. Janaka was a king of Mithila. And though he was a king, a ruling monarch, he was nicknamed as Videha Janaka. Janaka who does not have body consciousness. That means he had attained the very height of spirituality. And yet he was the king. So his example is always taken to show that householders can have spirituality. Sages like Janaka entered the world after attaining knowledge. So here, before he became a householder, he had already earned spirituality. But the point is that he is an householder and he has spirituality. So it is possible to have. But still, the world is a place of terror. That means difficulty is showing. Janaka had attained spirituality and then became the ruler. And still, that means Janaka had to be very careful in his life. And he's showing something, huh? And he's saying world is a place of terror. Why? Why? Once Janaka bent down his head at the sight of a Bhairavi. Bhairavi is a tantric sannyasini because the tantric has come, na? So Bhairavi is a tantric sannyasini. And they move out freely and do not dress as we dress. So, but she is a sannyasini, spiritual lady. So when Janaka saw her, he bent his head. That means did not want to look at her face. That is the meaning. He shrank from seeing a woman. The Bhairavi said to him, Janaka, I see you have not yet attained knowledge. Thakur says after attaining knowledge he had to come. But there was some flaw. You still differentiate between man and woman. So the full sign of knowledge is that the mind goes beyond this man and woman consciousness. So understand, he is placing Janaka as a Jnani. But according to this story, there is some flaw. Now he shows why that flaw. If you move about in a room filled with soot, you will soil your body, however slightly, no matter how clever you may be. So that is a famous saying. Soot. Soot means kajal or black paint. You are very careful, but some touch may come. It may not pollute you also, but some touch may come. So because householder is living among objects of temptation, some taint may come to him. I have seen, now he's giving an example. One thing we noted that day and today again, Thakur many times gives the example of common man, not necessarily Janaka or Krishna like that. I have seen householder devotee filled with spiritual emotion while performing their daily worship, wearing their silk clothes. This you understand? Silk clothes? No. You have not seen this in the houses? No. We used to put up. Oh. Now, for doing puja, our body should be clean and our clothes should be clean. Now, cotton cloths get soiled. We wash them. So there is one Sanskrit saying, Dhuta Vastram Pavitram. If the cloth is washed, it is pure. But for special pujas or for puja, silk cloth is not washed again. Because silk cloth does not get polluted. That is the idea. And so there is a special silk cloth. Maybe 3-4 brothers or all male members may use that. So for doing puja, one takes up that silk cloth as purity. Now because this seems to be a Rajasic man, that may be additional reason that silk I am wearing. But silk, as it appears, is purity. Thakur is showing spiritual emotion, silk-cloths. They maintain, so filled with spiritual emotion. They maintain that attitude even until they take their refreshments after the worship. This has to be explained to many people, Westerners especially, or Indians also, Westernized. You understand this point? If one is doing puja, one does it on empty stomach, without eating anything before, no breakfast. Now that is a common thing in Orthodox Hinduism. Here in Belur Math, our sannyasi, he does not take breakfast before he does puja. So that is may not be known to many people. Now, after puja, what he will do? He will take that breakfast. Now, Thakur is telling he is in a particular mood during puja with Reshmi cloth, and then he takes breakfast. So that time also, Thakur's observation, they maintain that attitude even until they take their refreshments after the worship. Because he has done puja with a particular bhav. And that refreshment he takes as prasad. So he maintains that bhav. But afterwards they become their old selves again. So continuity is not there. They display their rajasic and tamasic natures. So sattva, raja and tama. Sattva leads to bhakti. Raja and tama both are worldly. Raja is, I again and again tell about Raja, if you take it positively, it is dynamism. And if you take it negatively, it is restlessness. And Tamagun is inertia. So all three are in man. But sadhaka generally cultivates Sattva-guna. Now he has Sattva-guna till he does puja and breakfast. After that, it is gone. So that is the danger in householder's life. Rajasic and tamasic natures. Now here, they. So first is, I have seen householder devotees, plural. So this is not about a particular man. This is generalized statement. Thakur has seen householder devotees. They put on the silk cloth and do worship and maintain a bhav. But after breakfast, that is over. Sattva begets bhakti. Even bhakti has three aspects. Now, because he has mentioned three gunas, now you see, from Sattva bhakti is born. But the three gunas are such that they are interwoven. You cannot say Sattva only. So Sattva predominates. And within that also Sattva Rajatama is there. And Bhakti is Sattva Rajatama. Bhakti has originally come from Sattva. So Bhakti, Sattva, Rajatama are all useful in their own way. This Sattva Bhakti is pure Sattva. Sattva, from Sattva Bhakti comes, and within that Sattva. So that is pure Sattva. When a devotee acquires it, he doesn't direct his mind to anything but God. So Sattva Bhakti, he pays only as much attention to his body as is absolutely necessary for its protection. That much concern with the body. But But a Paramahansa, so he brings a Jnanin or a Sannyasin while comparing householders to show the idea. But is there none? So even beyond Sattvic Bhakta is the Paramahansa. But a Paramahansa is beyond the three gunas, though they exist in him. Because so long as the body, mind, etc., the gunas exist, but he is not influenced by them. Yet they are practically non-existent. Means they do not function that way. Like a child, he is not under the control of any of the gunas. Child is like that because he has not yet developed. And a Paramahansa is like that because he has gone beyond. But similar to the child. That is why Paramahansas allow small children to come near them in order to assume their nature. So Paramahansa by name. Paramahansa means one who is attempting to get real Paramahansa. If he is Paramahansa, then he is not has any gunas. But even then, they keep children with them so that that becomes permanent or that is their nature. And those who are struggling to become Paramahansa, they keep children to learn from them. In order to assume their nature. Paramahansas may not lay things up. So, no saving for Paramahansa. That defines a Paramahansa. But this rule does not apply to householders. So, he is keeping both together so that we understand things. Householder, Sattvic, pure Sattvic, Paramahansa, beyond Sattva-guna. Beyond Sattva-guna, he does not keep anything with him, but householder has to earn. That is the point. Householders cannot say, I do not earn. They must provide for their families. One day, you remember, I discussed a lot about Marathi Saint Tukaram. You remember that? So, those who know, Tukaram is celebrated as one of the great saints of Maharashtra. He was married. He had 2 or 3 sons. And he never cared for them. Even if people wanted to give money, he did not accept. And his life is kept as an ideal example of not caring for anything while worshipping God, but not giving up family life, not giving up sex with wife. And Sri Ramakrishna repeatedly is telling in Master Masha's first visit that Pratap's brother had come and has scolded him. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, if you are married, you are responsible, both for wife and the kids. You cannot ignore them. This big contrast must be seen. Tukaram is celebrated only for the lesson that without leaving your house, you can be a devotee. You can be an ideal devotee. But what wrong the kids have done, the wife has done, why they should suffer for you? So that is a great point. If you are bhakta, you may suffer. But you are married, you have children, and why they should suffer for you. Even if people wanted to help them, he did not accept. Now, after this background, now the tantric devotee asks, he has got sufficient material now to ask. He is a sadhak. He knows certain things and he seems to be a sincere sadhak. So, is a Paramahamsa aware of virtue and vice? Because Thakur has distinguished between Paramahamsa and householder. So, in society or in life as general as a man, there is good and bad. And Thakur's description of a Paramahamsa seems to be that he does not care for anything. So he does not care for good and bad also or not. That is the question. Is he aware? Is there consciousness of good and evil in him? That is the question. He is beyond gunas, accepted. But consciousness of good and evil is there in him or not? That is the question. Master, now before giving a reply, Thakur remembers something and he shows the limitations of Keshav and all the Brahmos. Because that is a relevant question. Keshav Sen also asked that question. I said to him, if I explain that to you, then you won't be able to keep your society together. He is bound his society by several rules. And there is a point called decency in that society. So, under the garb of decency, Bhog also, everything is there, but that structure cannot. If you become a Paramahamsa, you cannot hold a society beyond gunas. In that case, we had better stop here, said Keshav. So Keshav wanted to keep this society. So he did not want to, though he had asked, but he did not want to listen about Paramahamsa. Now Thakur comes to virtue and vice. What relative position they have, how Paramahamsa behaves, that after quoting this he is telling, do you know the significance of virtue and vice? What is this counter question? Virtue and vice, why should we consider them in our life? Then the question comes whether Paramahamsas have them or not. If they are useless, then nobody need have. But Paramahamsas are exception. But Thakur won't tell that till he explains what is virtue and vice. A Paramahamsa sees that it is God who gives us evil tendencies as well as good tendencies. So virtue and vice, in us, the good tendencies are given by God, the bad tendencies are given by God. If this Paramahamsa is aware of, he is beyond both. My goodness, my badness, then you have to be careful. So whether the Paramahamsa is aware or not, Paramahamsa is aware of something more than that. He may be knowing apparent good and evil, but he takes that everything is expression of God's will. Now see his behavior. There is no I in his behavior. So he is not responsible for anything in the world. Householder is responsible. And then, that means another question comes. Why God has created evil in us after all? So Thakur shows that it is there in nature itself. Haven't you noticed that the connection between the question and answer is very properly understood? It is not direct answer. Haven't you noticed that there are both sweet and bitter fruits created by God? Some trees give sweet fruit and some bitter or sour. God has made the mango tree, which yields sweet fruit, and also the hawk plum, amda, which yields sour fruit. Now Tantric has caught everything. He is a good Tantric sadhak. And Thakur's dealing he has caught. Thakur is talking to him. Others may not feel the connection even. Tantric. Yes, sir, that is true. On the hilltop, one sees extensive rose gardens reaching as far as the eye can see. What is the significance of this sentence? This is very coded conversation. On the top of a tree, that is the Paramahamsa.
On top of a hill. Top of a hill.
Tree, hill. On the top of a hill, that is Paramahamsa's bhumi. And there everything is good, nothing bad. That is what the Tantric said. So Tantric has caught Thakur's trend. He has understood. We may not have understood. We may not feel the connection. Understood now? Yes, sir, that is true. What is true? God has created good and bad. No. The Tantrika, the Paramahamsa is beyond that. On the hilltop, one sees extensive rose gardens reaching as far as the eye can see. So there is no question of evil in the sight of a Paramahamsa. Master, the Paramahamsa realizes that all these good and bad, virtue and vice, real and unreal, are only the glories of God's Maya. So the distinction comes only in the apparent world. There are scales and gradations and good and evil of that. So Paramahamsa has gone beyond Maya. So he knows that these are play of Maya. What is that to me, he will say. One day we read, not here, in the Hindi class, that Jivan-Muktananda Lahari. You remember that? So Paramahamsa, but these are very deep thoughts. So between Thakur and Tantric, they understood each other, but it is after a great advancement that this is true, not to the ordinary man. When realizing this cannot keep an organization, he comes back to that. Why he told Keshav will not be able to keep organization. He will spiritually he will go so high that no organization is possible there. Organization together or anything like that. Anything like that means my society, my organization, not possible. Now the question you will ask, what about the Ramakrishna Mission? Was Swami Vivekananda and other disciples of Thakur and Thakur himself not a Paramahamsa? Why created this organization? Tell me, what is your reply?
It's those who want to realize God, for them it's a shelter, or for them it's not
But
for
they
any
want
worldly
to,
purpose.
either they are Paramahamsas or want to become Paramahansa.
They can be in the state of Paramahansa.
The nature of organization, I would say, is a federal structure. That means if I want to go to a particular center, the headquarters may say no, why you are attached to that. But if I do not want to go to a particular center, I can have my own freedom. They will never compel you. That is what I am calling federal structure. One thing. Secondly, Swamiji, while creating, let me be very frank, we must know these facts. We, the members, and also all the world at large, Ramakrishna Mission devotees in special, all world. Swamiji in the West, one day he said, I met my highest temptation today. So the ladies around him thought that it is some girl. Who is she? They asked. Swamiji said, organization. He called organization as his highest temptation for a sannyasi. And then he said that he debated within his own mind whether he should create an organization or not. And what are the pros and cons? He himself has said, if I create an organization, truth will be throttled. He has clearly said this. But if I do not create an organization, there will be no truth. So Sri Ramakrishna has brought truth beneficial to the entire world by dint of his great sadhana. And that truth has to be preached and practiced. If he does not create an organization, Thakur's disciple will go here and there and it will be dissipated. For people in general, truth will not be available at all. But if I create an organization, truth will be throttled. Because in organization, several rules are there. And then finally he said, something like 51-49, organization wins. You understand? That means in organization there are several drawbacks, several. This one must remember. But the merits of an organization are more than the demerits slightly. With this clear awareness, Swamiji has made this organization. So we, the inner persons and the outer persons, all must be aware of this fact. Okay? And Thakur right away tells Keshav, you cannot keep the organization. Their organization, spirituality was less, more of rules. And householders, we are sannyasis, they are householders. And so many interrelations and rules will come. Tantric. Now he says, society and organization, let it go, I am not concerned. We are taking a Paramahansa and we are asking whether he is aware of good and bad or not. Suppose he is not aware or aware, but the good will take its effect. Bad will take its effect. Punya, punya na. So, whether this will remain or not. Isn't it that karma theory is absolute? Now Thakur replies, Master, that also is true. Huh? Also, up to a particular level that is true. Now, suppose a man is rising in spirituality. Then the good effects of good and bad effects of bad will be less and less and less as he grows spiritually. If there is no good and bad, stick to I consciousness. And if I consciousness is fully lost, like the Paramahansa, then no good and evil. But that does not mean that the rule is not there in the world. So that also is true. I will quote here. Gita 18th chapter. Shlok number you find out. Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trivida karmana phalam bhavati atyaginam pretya natu sannyasinam kvachit. Here the Lord has kept a clear gap if you understand. In the terminology, Tyagi means karma yogi and sannyasi is one who has gone beyond karma yoga. Now, good result, bad result and mixed results are inevitable for a non-karma yogi. And for the sannyasi, absolutely nullified. Has he not left a gap? What about the karma yogis? What about the tyagis? So the answer is this. The more you are able to achieve tyaga, eyelessness is the only meaning of tyaga. And it has grades. So as you are able to succeed in tyaga, then the effect of karma will be less and less and less. That is the theory. Here Thakur explains it in his own way. That also is true. Good produces good and bad produces bad. Don't you get the hot taste if you eat chilies? But is so preponderant in gospel, so preponderant. Meaning is that nothing should be accepted without analyzing it, without critically studying it. But these are all God's Leela, His play. So the Paramahansa knows all this is play. The karma theory remains, but Paramahansa does not care for that. Tantric. So now, after all this discussion, he asked the moon question. Then what is the way for us? We shall have to reap the result of our past karma, shall we not? That means we are not Paramahansas. Master, that may be so. Maybe so. Huh? But it is different with the devotee of God. That is, devotee of God means a sadhak. So karma theory will be there, but different for God. So the sadhak does not fear that he will have to have bad results or good results. He is concerned with going towards God. Let bad results come, let good results come. But the bad and good results will be lesser and lesser as his devotion to God increases. This is the solution of the problem. What is true on a particular level is not true up to that level. Listen to a song. So that is Thakur's method now. And because he is a tantric, we see that Thakur is singing song after song of Divine Mother. That Hari and Prem is not coming at all. Oh mind. A Ram Prasad song addressing his own mind. Oh mind, you do not know how to farm. An allegorical way, Krishika Januna, fallow lies the field of your life. Fallow means you have not been able to reap the fruits thereof. If you had only worked it well, how rich a harvest you might reap? Proper sadhana, then you will get fruits. Hedge it about with Kali's name. If you repeat Kali's name with devotion, then the problems will be less. Spiritual problem. If you would keep your harvest safe, this is the stoutest hedge of all. If you would keep means if you want to keep. Then how to keep your harvest safe? Kali's name. Compared to all the moral practices, Kali's name or devotion is a stronger hedge. For death himself cannot come near it. Shall I intervene and tell a story from Buddha's life? Swami Vivekananda has depicted that there is a song. Buddha is going somewhere and there is a terrible storm and rain. So Buddha stops under a tree. Opposite to him there is a rich man's house. And that rich man sees and he is condemning Buddha. He said, you fellow, you are drenched in rain, see me. Then he said that I have collected all my corn. I have kept it safe. Let there be rain. Buddha replies, I have controlled all my senses. Let there be rain. He says that my children, my family is very safe. Let there be rain. Buddha says my mind is controlled. Let there be rain. Like that. He says all my pashus are also safe. Let there be rain. Like that it goes on. And he comes and falls at the feet of Buddha. That is the story.
Oh.
So that is the stronger hedge. Sooner or later will dawn the day when you must forfeit your precious fields. You will die. Gather, O mind, what fruit you may, sow for your seed the holy name. So name itself you cultivate. Holy name of God that your Guru has given to you, mantra. Faithfully watering it with love. Faithfully with love. And if you should find the task too hard, call upon Ram Prasad for help. Ram Prasad is not offering help. Mind and I, ego, should go together. Or Ram Prasad, you ask, he will help you by guiding you. He sang again. I have securely blocked the way by which the king of death will come. Henceforward, all my doubts and fears are set at naught forever. Shiva himself is standing guard at the 9 doorways of my house. There are 9 doorways in the house, 7 on the face and 2 below. And evil may come through them. But Shiva himself is guarding all the 9. Which has one pillar for support. This has one pillar for support. Huh? What is that pillar? Brahman. Huh? And 3 ropes to secure it. Sattvarajatam. The Lord has made his dwelling place the 1,000-petal lotus flower. That is the tantric idea, that in the brain there is a 1,000-pillared lotus and Shiva stays there. But he guards all the 9 doors. Within the head, and comforts me with never ceasing care. The master continued. Anyone who dies in Banaras, several examples he will give of these good and bad, let them go to dogs. Anyone who dies in Banaras, whether a Brahmin or a prostitute, will become Shiva. So prostitute has been doing evil works, but she will not have to suffer if she dies in Kashi. Many people think it is irrational, but it is supported by all scriptures, including Swami Vivekananda. When a man sheds tears at the name of another person, not not okay. So it has come. Okay, fine. तो वो खत्म हो जाएगा. When a man sheds tears at the name of Hari, Kali or Rama, that is Thakur's speciality. No sect, then he has no further need of the Sandhya and other rites. So rites are in the field of karma, and there good and bad is there. But if he has gone beyond that, he need not do, he is not in that field. All actions drop away of themselves. The fruit of action does not touch him. So gone beyond. Natu sannyasi nam kochit. Again the master sang, as is a man's meditation, that is that day song, so is his feeling of love. As is a man's feeling of love, so is his gain, and faith is at the root of all. Let us revise the translation of this song as we did that day. Bhavile bhaver uday hoy. This is an additional line there. Bhavile bhaver uday hoy. That means meditation is done. Na? So then this has come. That day, this line was not there. In English translation, it was there.
Oh.
So if you meditate or if you contemplate on God, then a feeling will rise with a relationship with God. That is bhav. Bhavile means if you think or feel or contemplate or meditate on God, then the feeling of love and relation with God would come. Then it is all right. As is a man's feeling of love, so is his gain. Jemun bhav temni labh. That day, in absence of this line, all problem. And faith is the root of all. Because you have to have faith in God. Then only this will happen. If in the nectar lake of Mother Kali's feet, my mind remains immersed, of little use are worship, oblations, or sacrifice. Same thing. Karma, I have gone beyond the field of karma, so karma has no meaning in my life. So no fruits of karma also. He sang another song. So everything related to this topic is collected together. Why should I go to Ganga or Gaya or to Kashi, Kanchi or Prabhat? So if you die in Kashi, you get mukti is true. But there is another thing. So long as I can breathe my last with Kali's name upon my lips. So if you have practiced enough Kali's name, then at the death point also Kali's name will come and will be mukta. You do not require to go to all the pilgrimages. That does not mean that pilgrimages have no value. Understood? Then he said, when a man merges himself in God, he can no longer retain wicked or sinful tendencies. That is the main thing. That means if you have done or good or bad, there are results. And if you continue to do bad, then there are results. So if your eye is merged in God, then the evil has no place. All evil depends upon ego. If there is no ego, there is no evil. So that is the solution of all problems. Till then, good and bad relatively are there. Tantric, you have said rightly that he keeps only the knowledge ego. But this topic has not come at all, no? Paramahansa. Anyway, that has been part of Thakur's teaching that Shankaracharya, no, whose example he had given, Janakas. So if knowledge ego is there, then this does not apply. Master, yes, he keeps only the knowledge ego, the devotee ego. These are two forms. The servant ego, at one stage you had said, servant and devotee. And the good ego, his wicked ego disappears. So tendencies are not there, that the Tantric and Thakur have translated like this. Tantric, today you have destroyed many of our doubts. His doubts. So he is satisfied with the explanation purely. Master, all doubts disappear when one realizes this self, not till then. Many of his doubts are gone. And Thakur says, yes. But if you realize God, then there will be no doubt. Till then, some doubts do remain, and you have to continue with those doubts. You cannot get all your doubts solved before realizing God. Assume the tamasic aspect of bhakti. He has mentioned there. There it was not described, na? Three bhakti as the sattva rajatama.
Where? In Bengali? No.
We had read bhakti as sattva rajatama, and there he said sattva is pure sattva. There he had not discussed the rajasa bhakti or tamasa bhakti.
No.
Now he has come. Say with force. What I have uttered the name of Rama and Kali. Again, Vaishnava and Tantric satisfied. How can I be in bondage anymore? How can I be affected by the law of karma? By taking name. The master sang, if only I can pass away repeating Durga's name. There was Kali, now Durga has come. How canst thou then, O blessed one, that is Durga herself, withhold from me deliverance? Wretched though I may be, so will is dropped. I want to tell something, may not be today. I may have, then extreme, I may have stolen a drink of wine, or killed a child unborn, or slain a woman or a cow, or even caused a Brahmin's death. So every worst sin is described. But though it all be true, nothing of this can make me feel the least uneasiness, for through the power of thy sweet name, my wretched soul may still aspire even to Brahmanhood. This is the extreme of everything. The master continued. So all this involves what? Faith. Faith, faith, faith. Once a guru said to his pupil, Rama alone has become everything. When a dog began to eat the pupil's bread, he said to it, O Rama, wait a little, I shall butter your bread. Such was his faith in the words of his guru. So this is not that elephant and all that. Another example. So how much one can go? Worthless people do not have any faith straight away. They always doubt. But doubts do not disappear completely till one realizes self. So same thing we have seen. That means samshayatma vinashyati. But doubts will remain. But we are going beyond doubts. So everything clear. In genuine love of God, there is no desire. Only through such love does one speedily realize God. Attainment of supernatural powers and so on, these are desires. Krishna once said to Arjun, friend, you cannot realize God if you acquire even one of the 8 supernatural powers. They will only add a little to your power. This is not in the Gita, but somewhere it is there. Tantric, sir, why don't the rituals of Tantra bear fruit nowadays? Master, it is because people cannot practice them with absolute correctness and devotion. Either these or that or both are missing. In conclusion, the master said, love of God is the one essential thing. A true lover of God has nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. He is aware that the Divine Mother knows everything. The cat handles the mouse one way, but its own kitten a very different way. Now, I met 2 old ladies in my life. One when I was in Chandigarh, and one is continuously pestering me for the last 1 month. They are afraid that some bad result will come for what they have done up till now. One lady said, please bless me that I should die soon, because the old things will come. I said, diet is not the solution. They will all change you in the next life. And this lady, Sharanagata, Sharanagata, take me beyond, take me beyond, take me beyond every day. So this is not easy way. What you have done, you have to suffer. Unless you grow in love of God, then that is the solution. Okay? Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Good that we finished everything today. Huh? Everything has gone, Ray. Yeah. Yeah.